Hey everyone, it's Ivan with KitBadger.com here today to wrap up my review of this guy right here. This will be part 3 in my experience with the Howa Oryx 1500 mini action in 6.5 Grendel. Let's go ahead and start with, what is this? This is basically a bolt action. It's Howa's M1500, it's their mini action. So this comes chambered in a number of calibers. This one happens to be 6.5 Grendel. They also have 7.62 by 39, 5.56, and 300 blackout. This being the Grendel, it is a 1 8 twist. The chassis itself, this Oryx chassis I guess it is monolithic aluminum. So what does that mean? Well, big one-piece of aluminum. And with that, along the bottom, you have M-lock sections for attaching, obviously, a bipod. And then back here, you have adjustable length of pull from, I believe, about 13.5 inches to 15 inches, and adjustable comb height. For me, with this optic setup, I will say I had a hard time getting this low enough. So ultimately what I found worked best for me was putting this in rings that brought this higher, at which point I could bring this riser higher to actually get in a place that worked good for me with respect to a shooting position. Right here we have a detachable magazine. It's going to hold 5 rounds. This is their 7.62 by 39 and 6.5 Grendel mag. No issues for me personally, feeding or anything like that. Action's pretty smooth. Right here you have your safety. Forward is on fire. This has their 2-stage trigger. Nice, easy travel to the back. Distinct wall. Fairly light, really crisp. Pretty nice little trigger setup. Also with this, you have a threaded barrel, which I like. I was able to throw a muzzle brake on there at one point, do some shooting with that. Also tried different suppressors on there, both direct thread as well as some of the Q suppressors that actually go onto their cherry bomb. And I definitely like that with respect to features. I will say something kind of lacking depending on how you're going to carry this is you have QD sockets back here and no provision for them up here other than if you want to put like an M-lock QD like attachment, I guess, or I guess it'd probably even be like a piece of pick rail with a sling attachment off of it. I don't know. I feel like that was maybe kind of overlooked, but this is the chassis. Weighing in slick at, or I'm sorry, this rifle, 6.5 Grendel, slick, no optic, anything like that, weighs in at about 8.8 pounds. I was off to a rocky start when I initially got this. They sent it out. They said, hey, we're going to send it with one of our Nico Sterling 6x24 first focal plane. I was like, cool, sounds good. And it's going to be bore sighted. I'm like, roger that. Got it in hand, got some ammo, went out to the range. Proceeded to shoot 10 rounds through it, and it was a pretty huge group. Albeit it was bore sighted, they were all on paper, but it was a really, really big group. And I was like, damn, like I need to figure this out. And I wasn't sure if it was something with respect to the optic in the mount and the base or anything like that. So I started trying to eliminate variables and went back at it. Tried removing the optic, putting a different optic and a different mount. Basically went through a number of iterations with this rifle and proceeded to kind of work through it. I continued to run different types of ammo, trying to find something that would actually meet that Sub MOA guarantee that this rifle comes with. And I was having a really hard time. Everything I was doing, I was shooting off the prone, or from the prone, off, Atlas bipod, rear bag, and I would see incremental progress. And finally, I was like, you know what? This is my time, this is my ammo, I'm out here spending with a loaner gun. Like, I'm getting kind of burned out. Went out to the range and printed these groups. Shooting Federal Gold Medal Burger 130 grain hybrid open tip match. I ended up getting and really working for it. I was admittedly ready to throw in the towel after that range day, but after getting that nice Sub MOA group, I was like, you know what? I need to go ahead and give this one more shot. Went out, picked up another box of ammo. Again, that Federal Gold Medal Burger. Went back out to the range and proceeded to shoot some more groups. Out there that day, I ended up with 1.09 MOA, 0.86 MOA, 1.60 MOA, and 0.81 MOA. What did that experience show me? That this was, in fact, at that point, a Sub MOA gun. What else did it tell me? It basically told me that I needed to finish out the barrel. In fairness to the company, it says, hey, here's our recommended barrel break-in procedure. Right now I'm going to speak to that, not just pertaining to Howa, but literally pertaining to anyone that has a recommended break-in barrel break-in procedure. What that says to me is the barrel isn't finished. We have not lapped it. We basically have a bunch of imperfections. We would like you to spend your time and money on ammo and fill all those little imperfections in with your copper for us, at which point your barrel will be broken in and it'll probably shoot pretty tight. Granted, most barrels honestly do that. Like, you can have a barrel tighten up over time because it'll fill in little imperfections. Where I run into an issue though is, one, the fact that something needs to be broken in that's coming with a Sub MOA guarantee. If this is going to shoot Sub MOA, there should be no barrel break-in, as far as I'm concerned as a consumer. My expectation is to take this out of the box and shoot under 1 MOA, Sub MOA. Now, with that, like, what are factors? I'm the biggest factor, hands down. Am I a quarter MOA shooter? Probably not. I don't know if I ever will be. Who knows? I might get lucky sometime. Can I shoot under 1 MOA with everything that will shoot under a MOA, i.e. gun, ammo, optic, all those other factors? Absolutely. Like, I can pull it together and do my part. I will absolutely have bad days and fall apart too. And maybe some of those groups were just that. But when you have a Sub MOA guarantee, you've created expectation. And then to basically put the onus on the consumer as far as a barrel break-in, I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. Again, not with specifically with Howa, like across the board. Like, I don't get it. Having said all those things, what are my thoughts on this? Well, as far as this rifle goes, it absolutely does perform. All right, on target.
Send it.
Easy day.
Okay, from that target, go back to...
All right, on target.
Send it.
Hit.
Looked hit on the left edge. That's 840.
840 yards.
Yep.
Holding 9.3.
Holding 9.3. All right, go for the plate in the center. Circle plate.
Roger. On target.
Send it.
Hit. What do I think this is good for, though? Honestly, I think it's probably really good once you get it to that Sub MOA. I think it's really good for any type of precision stuff where you actually want to shoot 6.5 or really any of those other calibers. I can't attest to the accuracy of any of those, especially with that Sub MOA guarantee and 7.62x39. But yeah, like, once this thing's shooting Sub MOA, like, it's cool, especially if you're shooting it off a bench. This, I think, is relatively heavy. Again, slick, 8.8 pounds, and double-edged sword. Cuts both ways. One, it's really nice because when you have a heavy gun, it's relatively easy to shoot. Masks a lot of I don't know, like shortcomings in the shooter, in that if you have a 30-pound gun, like once you're on target, even if the trigger's not super clean, like it's probably not going to move. You're not going to have much input in it versus shooting like a really light gun. And at that point, you have a lot more input in it. So depending on how you're shooting this, I think that 8.8 pounds, like not a big deal at all. Would I want to lug this into the backcountry to maybe go hunt or something like that? Probably not. Like one, the stock doesn't fold, so this is the length of it. And the other side of it too is, yeah, things get heavy, especially if they're already heavy to begin with, once you start going up and over mountains. But I think if you're looking for something that you're going to largely spend most of your time off a bench, this may very well do good for you. Monolithic chassis, super rigid, it's not going to flex on you no matter how much you load your bipod. I think that's pretty cool. Again, comes down to application. And I will say, caveat this entire review with, this is one-off experience of mine. Maybe I got a bad one. I don't know. I've heard great reviews of Howas that they shoot right out of the box. I've also heard the other side of it. So, I don't know. Again, sample size of 1, that has been my experience with it. But if you want to pick them up, they MSRP around like $10.50. Come in a number of colors, this being their OD green chassis. They also have a gray and a flat dark earth. And yeah, obviously street price is going to be lower than that grand. And if you pick one up or you have experience with one, let me know down in the comments. Curious how your experience was. But as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.